Advocates in Action Rhode Island presents the 2025 statewide self-advocacy conference workshop session. What's this I hear about conflict-free case management? Presented by Anne LeClaire and Andrew Whalen.
I'm sorry, I'm not used to the tools, trying to figure out who to mute and who to unmute. Whoever is going, I'm a co-host recording, so whoever is speaking will be unmuted, and whoever isn't speaking will be muted. So but bear with me because I'm not used to the tools.
I'll share my screen with the presentation now. Is that okay, Alex?
Okay. Thanks, Anne. Andrew, Anne, you can get ahead, you can get started, and I'll meet everyone else.
Hello, everyone. My name is Andrew Whalen. I'm a peer resource specialist with Advocates in Action, and I welcome you to this presentation on conflict-free case management. What does it mean for me? I'm presenting along with Anne LeClaire from the Division of Developmental Disabilities. Next slide. So, Anne, it's your turn now for the acronyms.
Yep. So acronyms are a shorthand way to refer to longer titles, and they're usually made by using the first letter of each word in the phrase. We're going to be using some today. PCP, which means person-centered plan. CFCM, which we use to mean both conflict-free case management, so the whole idea and process of it, but also to mean the conflict-free case manager, the person who helps with the conflict-free case management. IF means independent facilitators, which if you haven't heard of those, we'll explain it a little later on. LTSS is long-term services and supports. That's a Medicaid term. The DD services are a Medicaid service under the long-term services and supports. So it's kind of our overarching umbrella that we get services under. DD services are the specific services offered by the Division of Developmental Disability. And EOHHS is the Executive Office of Health and Human Services. That's kind of our umbrella agency that serves all of the LTSS programs. So why are we doing conflict-free case management? Basically because the federal programs under Medicaid said we have to. That's the main reason that you will hear, is that it's a mandatory, that's what the red stamp there is, it's a mandatory program under CMS. Medicaid requires people getting the long-term services and supports, including the DD services that are under that umbrella, to have help making a plan that addresses all their needs and not just the services a particular provider offers. So that's the real reason we're doing it, is that within the DD world, we have providers that the division licenses to provide services, the DD specific services. But under Medicaid and in your whole life, you have other things you want to do. So we don't want your plan to be only focused on the DD services, but we want someone who can help you think about everything you want to do and everything you might need help with, and then decide which of those things are the DD services, the right things to support you, and which of those things do you need maybe help from someone else, a different program from the state, or a different resource in the community, or things that your friends and family will help you with. So we don't want to start just with the services we offer, because that might limit what you're thinking about doing. When you think about everything you want to do and then figure out where you get the help from, then you can open up things more. And you might be doing things even with your DD services that you hadn't thought of before. So that's why conflict-free case management exists, so that you can think about your whole life and everything you want to do in it, then figure out how to support it instead of starting with the services you have and fitting your life into that.
What is CFCM? CFCM, or conflict-free case management, is a service to help you find supports and resources you want and need. And this would include resources outside of the DD system. Conflict-free case management gives you help finding supports and resources you are interested in. This includes, as I said, supports and resources outside of the developmental disability systems, like other state agencies, i.e. SNAP benefits or ORS for employment, private businesses like gyms, cooking classes, etc., or from the community like joining a knitting circle. Conflict-free case management agencies provide only case management to DD participants. This means the agency can't provide any other service. By only providing CFCM, the agency can focus on helping you find services and supports available to you. These services and supports may be from any agency or any place in the state. These may be developmental disabilities services or general supports in the community. This will not change the other services you are getting with your service providers. What does CFCM do? It focuses on personal outcomes, What do you want to do? Not on what services an agency offers. Standardized plan, conflict-free case management will take a common approach to person-centered planning. Participants will have face-to-face time with case managers. I think this would be either in person or over Zoom or Teams or however you do it, live stream or virtual or whatever you call it. CFCM will do, your conflict-free case manager will do monthly check-ins with you to talk with you about how things are going. Are you getting the support you need? Are you happy with what you're getting? Are you making progress towards meeting your goals? It also helps with person-centered practices and provides robust oversight and monitoring of services and supports. You will work with your conflict-free case manager and/or independent facilitator to write your plan. Your conflict-free case manager and/or independent facilitator will help you lead your planning meetings. They will work with you to explore new opportunities. Your conflict-free case manager/independent facilitator will connect you to service providers and services and supports you may or may not be disability related. Your conflict-free case manager and/or independent facilitator will check in with you throughout your plan year. They may call or visit you in person depending on what you choose. You also get to decide how often you want them to check in with you. The goal of the check-ins are to make sure you are getting what you need from your services and providers. Your conflict-free case manager/independent facilitator will talk with you about what is going well, possibly what isn't going well, new activities you want to try, new goals you want to add to your plan, progress you are making towards your goals, services you are getting that you want to stop or change, if you are not getting a service or support you should be getting, any problems you are having with your support staff, service agency, or services.
So is conflict-free case management different for people who use self-direction versus agency services? So you heard Andrew talk about the CFCM or the IF. The IF is the independent facilitator. So on the left-hand circle over here, we have the independent facilitator. And on the right-hand circle, we have the conflict-free case manager. So there are some things that are different. This part that's in between that both circles have are the things they have in common. So one difference between them is that the conflict-free case manager is an employee of an agency that is certified by Rhode Island State Medicaid. The independent facilitators, on the other hand, are self-employed people. So they're more like the independent plan writers that people who self-directed had before. And many of them are actually the independent plan writers from before. They've become independent facilitators. Not every plan writer has. So many of them have experience, many of the independent facilitators have experience with the ISPs. And the independent facilitators are only working with people who self-direct, where the conflict-free case managers will work with people who are agency-based or who self-direct. So those who get an independent facilitator, they're still going to help with the plan, just like they always did. They're going to do the same type of plan that the conflict-free case managers are doing. And they're still going to check in monthly or on the schedule that you choose to find out if you're getting everything you want, how your plan's going, if there's anything else you thought of that you need, anything's not working for you. So that part is the same. The independent facilitators are helping us while we don't have the full capacity. We don't have enough conflict-free case managers to do everything yet. It's a new service, so we need to grow it. We're hoping that the independent facilitators wind up working for an agency that is the Conflict-Free Case Management Agency, and that we will have them for the long term. There's no plan to do away with them anytime soon, though. So if you have an independent facilitator, you don't have to worry about losing them anytime soon, unless, of course, they choose not to. Some people, their plan writers have retired, so they didn't become independent facilitators. So those people are getting someone new, which could be another independent facilitator or a conflict-free case manager. But if you have a plan writer who became an independent facilitator and you want to keep them, you can do that. Yes, most of the conflict-free case managers are new to the DD system. We have a few who did work for provider agencies before, who have some experience in the system. But the independent facilitators, those who were not plan writers already, most of them are teachers who are dealing with the DD system already as well. So they were familiar with us. Your conflict-free case manager or independent facilitator, one of the things they have in common is that they will be your new main contact. So you won't have a social caseworker anymore. You would call whatever you would have called your social caseworker for, you can call either your independent facilitator or your conflict-free case manager. So if you see any of the letters or materials that we're going to be putting out, you'll often see CFCM/IF. It's referring to both the case manager and the independent facilitators because some of the things apply to both of them.
So, how does conflict-free case management affect me? It isn't just about DD services. What do I have to do to get a conflict-free case manager or IF? And what should I do to get ready to meet my conflict-free case manager or independent facilitator? Well, it isn't just about DD services, as I said. It doesn't affect funding, but it can help you learn about all the options you have to use DD funding. Your case manager will also work with you to address things that aren't done with DD funding. Address whole life and thinking outside of the box and talk about things you want that aren't DD specific. If you have not started working with conflict-free case management, don't worry. The division will contact you to connect you with a conflict-free case manager or independent facilitator. You will get a letter and phone call letting you know you will start with conflict-free case management. You do not have to do anything but wait to be contacted about conflict-free case management. If you know who you want to have as your conflict-free case manager and or independent facilitator, you can request that person. Otherwise, BHDDH will be assigning people to you conflict-free case management and or independent facilitator. This is because we don't have enough conflict-free case managers yet to serve everyone. You can ask to change conflict-free case managers or independent facilitators or agencies if it/they aren't a good fit for you. To get ready, think about how the last year has gone for you. Are there things you might and want to keep doing? Are there things you want to change? Make a list of topics to talk about at the planning meeting. Make a list of topics you don't want to talk about at the planning meeting. Ask yourself how you want your planning meeting to go. Do you want to be involved in the meeting? If so, how heavily? Do you want to talk about difficult topics? Invite people from your support team to join the meeting. This may be family or support staff or other people important to you. Renew your old plan, assessment results, and or forms to get ideas about what you want to do this year. Be curious about what you want to do this year. Try not to focus only on paid services from the division. Instead, think about what you want to do or try. What new experiences, skills, or knowledge do you want? Are there new relationships or activities you want to try?
As Andrew said, there's a lot to think about when meeting with your conflict-free case manager or independent facilitator for the first time. And the planning is a little bit different under conflict-free case management. So the planning process, the case managers are going to try to meet with you several times or as many times as you need. If once works, that's all you have to do. But they're going to meet with you to do more pre-planning. To get one, they don't know you. In some cases, they may not know you very well. So they want to get to know more about you and what you want to do. But as we keep saying, it's not just about the DD services. So they want to make sure that you have the opportunity to, you'll often for those of you who have been in the system a while, you've probably heard about we're going to renew your plan this year. Well, each year is the opportunity to do a new plan. We don't just rubber stamp and renew what you did last year. So think about each year as a new plan. What do you want to keep doing? Because you can keep doing whatever you like and want to keep doing. But if you want to try something new, if you want to say, I did all of that last year, I don't want to do any of that this year, you have the opportunity for it to start from scratch and change what you're doing. So they want to make sure that they have conversations with you about what it is you want to do and try. If you want to try everything, then you may have already tried stuff last year, so you want to do all new stuff this year. But when you get to your actual planning meeting, so you'll do more pre-planning stuff and conversations before you get into your planning meeting. When you get to your planning meeting, it will still include anyone you want to have there. So the meeting, that meeting where you discuss your plan, won't change very much. Anyone you want will still be there. You're still in charge of your planning meeting and what you talk about or don't talk about, and who's there. Then the conflict-free case manager or the independent facilitator will write the plan, just like your plan writer did before, and then share it with you to review and sign. So all of that part is the same. One thing that's different is that we won't be calling it the ISP anymore. We're calling it the person-centered plan. And part of that is because we want you to think not just about your support plan from DD Services for this year, but what is it you want? We want your plan to be your plan, and then we figure out how DD or other services are going to support you. Some of the changes with PCP, I got ahead of myself. So this first item is that the ISP is now called the person-centered plan, the PCP. We talked about the person-centered plan as separate from the ISP in the past, for those of you who have heard that, where the person-centered plan was MAPS or PATH or that whole life thing that you talked about. Now we're saying your annual plan should be, it doesn't have to be the MAPS or PATH, but it should think about all of those other things. So the person-centered plan, the annual plan, should include things you want to do in the future, not just in the next year. So if you have stuff you want to get ready to do, say you want to, can everyone hear me? Okay. I'm getting a message that my internet is wonky.
Yeah, it's a little choppy sometimes, but it's all right.
Sorry. So you can talk about what you want to do in the future and all the steps you might need to take there. So if you want to get your own apartment in a few years, what are the things you need to do before you do that? So thinking about the future planning is an important part of what we want conflict-free case management to do. And the monthly check-ins are new, and they're not checking in on your service providers or your staff if you self-direct. They're not in charge of any of that. They're checking in with you on your plan. And are you getting the stuff that you asked for this year and doing the things that you said you wanted to do this year? And is it all going well? If anything's not going well, they'll help you address that. If you've thought of something that you didn't think of when you did your plan and you want to add it to your plan, or if you have something in your plan that you thought you wanted to do, and after exploring a bit, you're like, nope, I decided I actually don't want to move forward with that, you can take it out of your plan and replace it with something else. So they want to make sure that things are going well for you.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
What happens, isn't there like a fee to change?
Not with the conflict-free case managers. For people who
Okay.
self-direct, the fiscal intermediaries, so sorry for those acronyms, where the independent facilitators are IF, the fiscal intermediaries are FI. The fiscal intermediaries are charging for plan updates to cover the work that they do. But the case managers get paid for managing your plan. So the updates are part of what they're supposed to do. If you have an independent facilitators, they're still going through the fiscal intermediaries. So there is still a charge for the fiscal intermediary there.
So I have I have Trudeau. And
Yeah, so there will still be a charge for plan updates through the fiscal intermediary.
okay.
But once it's moved all into conflict-free case management, there won't be.
How do I know when I'll be switched over?
Do you have an IF already?
Yeah.
Or who's ready? Yeah. If you want to switch to a conflict-free case manager, we can talk about that. So it could be your choice which you use. As Andrew said earlier, we're kind of assigning people now because we don't have the capacity. So we eventually want people to have the choice of which agency they have, but we don't have enough now. So a lot of people who self-directed, if they had a plan writer, we kept them with the plan writer, or if their plan writer is no longer doing independent facilitation, you were assigned to somebody. If you don't want to work with that person, or if you want to work with conflict-free instead of IF, or IF instead of conflict-free case manager, it's your choice if you want to change. So we can talk about that after, Kathy.
Okay.
And that's all we had to introduce conflict-free case management. So any other questions or concerns, things we didn't cover?
So I don't know if this is a question in or not, but I'm a peer advisor for looking at reports, and my question in my role here is how I can best support, like best support the people that we support to go through any kind of conflict if if it comes up for them.
So let me repeat the question back, make sure I got it correctly. So you're a peer advisor and you're wondering how to best support people who might be having a particular type of conflict, or
Yeah, like yes, correct. Of any kind of conflict, and especially the information on the presentation.
so if people are having issues with their case manager, you can contact the division or their independent facilitator. So you can call the division to talk about it. We're still here as a resource.
Okay.
If people are having issues with their provider and can't work it out, then you would call the case manager to see if they can help work it out with the providers. Susan Donovan, had your hand raised?
I just have a thought. And because Anna made me think of something when she asked her question, which was a great question. And I know that Anna does a lot of good work with the consumers that are working with Looking Upwards. And even though the name is Conflict-Free Case Manager, it doesn't mean that everybody that has one is going to have a conflict. I think in my mind, I think of the case manager, I drop the words conflict-free and I just think case manager, because the conflict-free doesn't mean that we're having a problem, but it means we want to avoid problems. And in order to do that, that person, that case manager is all about working with the consumer and helping them design the life that they want to live. I hope that was helpful.
That was very helpful. Thank you, Sue. You said it very well.
Thank you.
The conflict-free doesn't mean that we never have conflict, and it doesn't mean we have conflict. The conflict-free comes from the federal Medicaid office. And the idea that if your plan is written by an agency that provides services, that there's a chance your options might be limited to the services they offer. Doesn't mean that your providers are doing anything wrong. It's just that there's the chance that you may not get a wider range that you want. So because the case managers can only provide case management, that potential conflict isn't there.
And this is Sharon from Ripen. I have a question too. What about youth in transition that might still be in school and are been approved? We've had our SIS, and we can access some of our community dollars when our PASS services, our in-home personal assistance and support systems, and at age 21, but he's still in school till 22. Will BHDDH assign me somebody, and will they help me with creating a person-centered plan? And then will I be assigned a conflict-free case manager or an independent facilitator based on caseloads?
Yes.
Okay.
You'll be assigned to someone, and we're trying to assign everyone new to a conflict-free case manager or IF. So when did you say the person's going to start adult services?
Yeah, so he starts in November. He'll be starting, he's been approved. We have our SIS tier, which is the supports intensity scale. And I'm just wondering when, like how far out for planning purposes do I need to create it, right? We've never had a person-centered plan. We've never done a service plan before. So how much time does that take to get ready so that there is no break in service between when the in-home path services, children's services end and the adult services begin?
Yeah. He should be assigned a case manager anytime now. It should be
Okay.
3 or 4 months.
Okay.
We're trying to make sure it's at least that far out, so that there's time to make the connection. But we
Mhm.
want to give a good 3 months to actually write the first plan.
Okay. Thank you.
Sue?
And so, Anne, for the benefit of the room today, folks that decide that, or that are in self-direction, how can they access a list of independent facilitators?
We have a list on our website. Amethyst, I'm sorry to call on you, but I'm forgetting where we put the list now.
We have a list of the conflict-free case managers on the conflict-free case management provider page. It's all the way on the bottom of our menu. I'm not sure if I can share my screen, but I can if that will help.
Yes, if you could, please.
All right, so if we go to our web page, we're going to see on the side a menu, scroll all the way down, conflict-free case managers, click that, and we have an external CFCM provider list. We don't have anything right now for the IFs, but we do have it here for the conflict-free case managers.
But if you're interested in an independent facilitator, you can contact us. There's a CFCM email or our general AskDD email, the bhdh.askdd. Heather Mincy is making the assignments and working with the independent facilitators, so we would make sure she got it and got the request. Heather Mincy is an assistant director with the division, for those who don't know her.
I do self-direct.
And Kathy, have you noticed any changes with your independent facilitator, or is it new?
I'm not sure.
Hi again. So my daughter does self-direction, and she has an independent facilitator. And something that's new with her independent facilitator is they're going to be connecting with each other monthly now. So every month, at least twice a year, they're going to see each other in person. Like, we're all going to get together and help write her person-centered plan. And then once a year, they'll do an in-person check. Maybe they'll go to the local coffee shop and meet for a cup of coffee or something decaffeinated, which would be a better choice. And then the other months they'll be connecting like by phone, but or like a Teams or Zoom or something. What's nice about that is, life doesn't stay the same, right? For like 3 months, 6 months, 12 months at a time. Sometimes life changes day by day. So to be able to connect with her independent facilitator once a month is a nice opportunity in case things have changed, and to help her find maybe different or new resources, just to make sure that she is her plan is helping her access the meaningful life that she wants to have. So we're super excited about that.
That sounds like a good plan. I don't have that. I mean, I don't get a check-in.
Well, hopefully moving forward with whoever you have, they'll be reaching out to you, or you'll be able to do that soon.
Yeah.
Someone mentioned something in the chat. Let me see.
Yeah, I've got it, Alex. Anna said, what I do in my role for Looking Upwards, I am a peer advisor for person-driven department, person-driven services. We have a website on the Looking Upwards webpage. Culture we are changing is person-centered to person-driven.
I like that, Anna. We had a parent who said before that person-centered sometimes feels like being in the middle of a firing squad. So it's all at the person, but not about the person.
Yeah.
So person-driven, self-determined services. Yeah, I like that.
Thank you. I had to put that out. Cause but we are planning to do down the road for for anyone who wants to request our service, they can on our website. But that's down the road. I just wanted to let you guys know.
Thank you, Anna. Taylor Dorsey wrote, can people change and add things to their person-centered plan as often as they like? I think the answer to that is yes.
It's a qualified yes. We ask that people don't change things weekly. It takes time to process a change. So we ask at least 30 days to make a change. So I was talking to someone who thinks they might need a change to their plan because they're not certain about something that they want to put in their plan. So my recommendation was put it on a list of things and start making a list. So as you meet with your case manager monthly, list a few things, and then maybe 5 or 6 months in, when you know more of how things are going, put in one request. So if you have something to cover what you want enough, make all the changes together instead of doing one per month, because it's a little bit easier for your case manager and for the state to process and make sure nothing gets lost. And we do have some restrictions towards the end of a plan year, that when you're in the period of looking at your new plan and you want to add something new, by the time we process the change, we're also reviewing and approving, and it might even be your new plan year. So if you want to add something new in the last 2 to 3 months of your plan, we're asking you to look at putting it into your new plan, because by the time we get it all and process it, you may not have time to actually do it.
That makes sense.
But if you have something you absolutely need and you need to do it, yes, you can make the change when you need to. Sue?
I just wanted to say, I think that you and Andrew do a super job at explaining things. That's why I like going to your sessions. You guys really, I learn a lot when I go to your sessions. And I see Sharon Koshin from Ripon is in the room as well with us today. And I know a couple of weeks ago, her and her team at Ripon, they did a great self-directed toolkit presentation that has a lot of nice documents and templates to help with planning when you're doing self-direction, or like you just said, it's like kind of like think about, write that list of maybe I want to change this or maybe I want to change that, but some nice helpful tools, so check out the Ripon website.
www.ripon.org/self-directed toolkit.
And if people are agency-based, I'd also suggest you look at the self-direct toolkit, because it's still all about what you want. So I think some of those tools could be helpful for anybody.
We don't want to forget, we have a lot of folks that are really dabbling with hybrid models. So they're doing some agency-based and some self-directed combination, which is really a nice, a nice combo.
Yeah. We should do a session on that. Okay, any other questions, thoughts, any concerns people have about the new direction with the case management? And I know some people are scared about losing their social caseworker, but no one's going to be left adrift. The caseworker, the case manager will do everything the caseworker did and more. And if you have issues, you can always call the division and we can help.
So I wouldn't have Jen Govea anymore?
No. Nope. Once you have an independent facilitator or case manager, you no longer have a social caseworker.
Okay.
But again, the division's always here to fall back on. We're not going anywhere. Jen's still going to be at the division. All the social caseworkers are still going to be at the division. Well, a couple are retiring, but no one is losing their job because of the case management.
That's good.
They're shifting to other types of roles.
That's good.
So we're going to have people at the division who will do more work with transition kids. We're going to have more of a residential team. And so they're going to have other roles. But again, that's in the future. They still have large caseloads now because we have about a quarter of our system, about 1,000 people are with a case manager or independent facilitator now. So we still have a long ways to go. This is going to be a transition that'll take some time.
And this is Sharon from Ripon. I just want to say that when we have encouraged families to contact the division through the Ask BHDDH or the Ask DD email, that their response is pretty quick. It's a pretty quick overview, response time. So, if families and consumers are encouraged to contact the division that way as well to get answers.
Thank you, Sharon. And that's good to hear. We try. Yeah, so I just want to reiterate for those of you who don't have a case manager or IF yet, what Andrew said in the presentation is you don't have to do anything to get one. All you have to do is wait. You will be notified when you're assigned to somebody, so you don't have to worry about anything until you get the letter letting you know that you're going to be transitioned to a case manager. If you want to transition sooner, let us know if you want to get on the list to get a case manager, but it's going to be just, you don't have to do anything or worry about anything. And hopefully after you get the letter, you don't have to worry about anything. It'll just be a new person you meet who is there to help you. If there are no other questions, I guess we can return to the main session or take a break. Okay, well, thank you everyone for coming and talking to us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Great job. That was great information.
Thank you.
Visit our website to download the slides that were shared during this presentation and additional resources about this important topic. While you're there, we hope you'll also enjoy the other workshop sessions and videos from this year's conference. www.advocatesinaction.org/2025 SACONF.
Produced by Advocates in Action Rhode Island, 2025. Nothing about us without us.